My name's Duddy, set up builds and stuff. Today's video is going to be about the Symmetry exotic scout rifle. Bungie have just started to drop some information on some future exotic buffs, and the Symmetry is getting an absolutely whopping buff. It's friggin' getting bolt charge, guys. Absolutely crazy. A bolt charge scout rifle. Spank my body and call me Barbara. I can't believe it. It's happening. Symmetry is going to be huge. We're going to be looking at Verity's brow, but it could be paired up nicely with this in the future. Mantle of Battle Harmony to get massive 25% damage. And we're going to be taking a look at Mask of Bakris. We'll also be looking at a very obvious one with Storm's Keep. Is that going to double up? We'll have to wait and see. So the video is going to be purely about the Symmetry and the buffs coming to it, like bolt charge and what it could possibly work good with. I've done quite a few videos on Symmetry. It's a very cool scout rifle, but it's always just felt a little bit off. So stay with me, I'll break it down. The Symmetry, it's got the perk on there, Revolution. This weapon fires full auto, that's built in. Swap to Arc Seeker mode. Arc Seekers track towards combatants you target. It was really good in Gambit back in the day, if anyone remembers. Shout out the Gambit Symmetry users. Jump through a portal, switch to the Arc Seeker mode, and you could destroy teams. It's also got the dynamic charge on there. Final blows and precision hits build up the dynamic charge. Swap into Arc Seeker mode, increases damage based on the number of charges of dynamic charge you have, or Revolution. And of course, it's got the catalyst. This improves the maximum number of dynamic charges stacks you can get. You can get up to 20. And it's also got Eddy Current on there, which was a recent buff. It temporarily increased reload speed, etc. when you're amplified. So basically, this is what it does now. You start off with no stacks, and then you keep getting crits. Because it fires so fast, it builds them stacks up pretty quickly. And you've also got the Eddy Current if you're amplified, which is going to make it really, really snappy. So you build it up there to your dynamic charge times 20 very easily. 105 a headshot, and then you just switch to the Seeker mode. Your Revolution times 20, you get 10 seconds, and that gives it an absolutely massive damage boost. And it tracks, and you can just hip fire it, and the tracking on it is pretty crazy. So that's what it's doing right now. So here's what's coming. So just basically go on to say Symmetry is an interesting weapon, but it still feels like it's not quite worth the effort in its loop. I kind of agree with that. So with the introduction and popularization of the bolt charge, particularly with Storm's Keep, to put that one in brackets, this seems a solid addition to the weapon, especially adding a new way to spend bolt charge via the weapon itself. So it's now going to build bolt charge with one stack of dynamic charge in alt fire mode, and it grants more stacks at times 10 dynamic charge. So if you've got a times 10 dynamic charge, you're going to be able to build your bolt stacks a lot quicker. And then you can now spend bolt charge when you're in the alt firing mode. And it also is going to increase the reload speed by 20. The reload speed on this is already nuts. So that's a really good bonus as well. I think with the addition of getting bolt charge and being able to dispense bolt charge when you're in the alt mode, is going to open up a lot of build opportunities. So if you can just imagine you're in the alt mode now, you've got your bolt charge built up, you're going to be able to just spam your bolt charge with all these. The scout rifle itself, when you're in that alt mode, already does extra damage, but it actually states you actually build up bolt charge now. So basically, you're not forced to use this for the scout rifle. If it says you built the bolt charge up, you're going to be able to use that with your abilities, or you can switch to the scout rifle and use it with the scout rifle. So you can imagine getting bolt charge doubled up basically for all your abilities, and then again you can switch to the alt mode and use the bolt charge for your scout rifle. So Verity's brow was one of the first things that popped into my mind, because you're going to be able to easily get the arc kills for your arc ionic sentry and things like that. As we know, they all count towards your grenade stats now. So Verity's buffs the damage of your ionic sentry, and then you've got a various set of grenades like pulse, storm, etc. So you're going to be very easily be able to keep that up anyway. It already works pretty good now with Verity's. So you can imagine you've got your death runs up, you're getting your kills, you're building your dynamic charge, and again, it's not here right now, but your bolt charge are going to be there as well, and you're going to be able to make your grenades and your ionic sentry do some absolutely humongous damage very, very easily, and build up your bolt charge, which again, you can use on your scout rifle or on your abilities. So the opportunities with Verity's, just for an example, could be incredibly, incredibly strong. And again, without delving too much into it right now, you could also build into it even further with your bolt charges with various different fragments as well, like spark of frequency, etc. There's loads of different ones you can use to build your bolt charges up even quicker. So I've had a little play with it just over the last couple of days, and it doesn't feel like terribly bad at the moment. It feels pretty decent, to be honest. You're going to be able to, like I said, easily keep them death thrones going, especially when you're in that alt mode, improving your damage, and again, going to get the bolt charges on tap when the changes actually go through. And the eddy current thing is really good, and I know they're giving it another 20 plus 20 reload speed, but the reload on this thing's absolutely nuts. You've probably seen how fast I'm reloading while I'm amplified. Another 20 on top of that is going to make it absolutely incredibly snappy. So that kind of covers some abilities where this could be good. Another one that is another exotic that's really good with this is the Mantle of Battle Harmony, because what this does is when you've not got your super, it's going to give you super energy with arc weapon kills if you're on an arc subclass, i.e. Symmetry. And then when you've got your super, you're going to get 25% weapon damage every time you get a kill. So you'll see there, 105, 105. I'm not going to stand there and build my super. I'm going to go chase it, get the flag, get my super up. So you're seeing it 105, and it's going to go up to 131 damage, actually 25% from your Mantle of Battle Harmony. Of course, this works with a dynamic charge as well. 503, the Revolution, and it's going up to 629. So for weapon damage, if you want to boost that up a little bit, Mantle of Battle Harmony will be a very solid option as well. Just getting at 629, like bolt charge, dynamic charges is going to be absolutely nuts. And you can actually build the Revolution up really easily as well now. It's so fast, you just literally just crit, and because of the way it fires, it does feel pretty nice. But again, I just had a little play with it over the last couple of days, and it mops up, like, adds very easily from a distance. Similar, well, it's not exactly the same, obviously, but hierarchy, the ease of use is very nice. You can just sort of like sit back, get your hip fire mode peak, and get some kills. Another one, just switch into a hunter, is the Mask of Bakris, because when you've got a stasis or an arc super equipped, your dodge will be replaced by a light shift, where it improves stasis and arc weapon damage. It goes up to 30% every time you do your light shift. Get a couple of kills and you get instant class ability back, 105 to 115. And could do another light shift, goes up to 126. Do another dodge, 139, which is crazy. And then obviously, again, very obviously, that also works with the Revolution, the sort of dynamic charge times 20, 5 all the way up to a whopping over 600, I think it is, like 670, which is nuts. So just being able to spam your light shift, build up your damage, and just skate around the arena with Symmetry tracking, Bakris on a stasis or an arc super build is going to be absolutely crazy as well. And finally, the most obvious one really to me was Storm's Keep, because we all know what this does. You're going to get behind your barricade, and that's going to build your bolt charge up, which you can disperse with your weapons or your abilities as long as you're behind your barricade. Now, if you can imagine the changes to Symmetry, where it's going to let you build up bolt charges as well, you're going to get double the bolt charges when you're at dynamic charge times 10. So is this going to stack with Storm's Keep? Are we going to be able to technically double our bolt charge gains while we're behind the barricade with Storm's Keep equipped? I hope so. I can't see it not being an issue. If that is the case, that is going to be meta, in my opinion. That could be insanely strong. But that pretty much wraps up the video. Let me know what you guys think of this video. It's just my little way of breaking bits down. And then again, let me know if there's something you think it may work with as well. Shoot me a comment. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.